Watch your head, I'm right behind you.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. Could I ask everybody to step back 3 feet, please? There'll be plenty of time. Could everybody step back 3 feet, because we don't want people up front crushed. If everybody could please step back 3 feet, we'd appreciate that.
Everybody, please! We gotta let the man take everyone back and leave the foot! Please, everyone, back up! 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 We gotta back up a little bit. Otherwise, there's no way to listen to what he's gonna say. Please, everyone, back up a little bit here, please. Absolutely. Fuck the police. Fuck absolutely.
Fuck Ted Wheeler.
Please, let's at least give him some space.
Fuck Ted Wheeler. Fuck Ted Wheeler. Hey, hold on, bro.
You gotta let the man speak before he can say anything.
Yeah, no, he doesn't deserve to speak. He's a fucking fascist. Fuck you.
Hey,
next person that pushed me is getting knocked out. Fuck Ted Wheeler.
next person that pushed me is getting knocked out.
Thank you.
Stop pushing.
All right, I'm just going to talk. We're going to get the mic working here. All right. First of all, thank you all for being here. I want to thank the Portland Tribune. I want to thank Mark Ruffin, who's here somewhere, for setting up this opportunity. This is a listening session. I want to have the opportunity to hear you. And if everybody's yelling, nobody can hear anything. First of all, I want to thank the tens of thousands of Portlanders who've come out to demonstrate in support of racial justice and equity. I want to thank the thousands of you who've come out to oppose the Trump administration's occupation of our city. It is an unconstitutional occupation. The tactics that are being used by our federal officers are abhorrent. They do not act with probable cause. People are not being told who they are being arrested by, and they're being denied basic constitutional rights. The reason this is important is because it's not just happening in Portland. And the president has made it clear it's going to happen in cities that are controlled by Democratic leaders. That is a use of police force, federal police force, for political ends. That is not an acceptable solution anywhere in America. And we are on the front line here in Portland. If we are not able to get the federal administration to back off and leave our city, it will happen all across the United States, jeopardizing our United States Constitution. With regard to the local police, because I'm not shirking that responsibility either, we have heard you. You've asked for reforms. We passed historic reforms. We reduced the budget, and we're starting next week on the big work, which is reforming the oversight and accountability system, which I've committed to work with my colleagues to do. I know for many of you that's not enough, and I respect that, and I understand that. You're all entitled to your opinion, and the reason I wanted to be here tonight was not to talk, but to listen. And so with that, we'll allow you to take the microphone, and I will listen.
All right, Ted Wheeler, I'm a medic. I am a medic. The federal agents shot at my head while I was trying to help a man who was bleeding out on the corner. Where were the cops to defend us? Where were your officers to protect me? Someone who's here to save lives.
I gotta come through.
Where were they? Where were they to protect us? Where were you to keep your
Goodness gracious, I get the microphone. Hello, people. Those of you who are on Facebook Live with me, I'm here with Ted Wheeler, and we're going to ask some poignant questions about the changes that we need to do in our city. So let's talk to Mr. Wheeler. So Mr. Wheeler, everyone in the crowd wants to know what you're going to do about qualified immunity. Go ahead and answer that.
I am opposed to qualified immunity. We're going to get rid of it. To do it, we have to work with our state legislature to do it. I'm 100% committed to getting rid of qualified immunity.
Okay, he says he's 100%.
Asked when? I am hoping it will come up in the next special legislative session, which is scheduled in the next couple of weeks. But I believe today. Good, thank you.
Yeah, those of you who got your ballot today, understand that Mr. Wheeler has committed to getting rid of qualified immunity for police. So we do have to hold his feet to the fire and make sure that we hold him accountable for what he has committed to do. Next question. You say that the feds are doing all of this illegal activity, and we see it. We see our First Amendment rights being denied. We see our Fourth Amendment rights being trampled on. This happened before the feds got here. We've been having our Fourth Amendment rights trampled my entire life. I'm a 43-year-old man. I was here during the choke 'em, don't smoke 'em t-shirts. I remember that. I'm a friend of James Perez, who died 97 seconds after he was stopped by police. We've been having our rights trampled before the feds came. Under your watch, what do you plan on doing about our rights? And just look at these people. They're here for a reason. They want to know what you're going to do to protect our rights because they're not being protected.
There is no question that we here in Portland, and I will say me as police commissioner, I'm not going to make this about other people, we have been too slow to acknowledge both the systematic racism and the injustice of the police system, but also the education system, the economic system, access to housing, access to health care. And what you're seeing around you is a referendum on where America is today with regard to racial justice. And what people are saying overwhelmingly is it has not worked, it is broken, and we need to fundamentally reform the system. And so I will continue to work with my colleagues on the City Council We passed historic reforms. We've directed resources from the police bureau back into the community. We are in the process of overhauling the oversight and accountability system, but it starts with who we hire. We need more diversity in our hiring, how we train officers, and how we hold officers accountable. And all of those things are already in process with our colleagues. It came 40 years too late. I cannot argue that point. It's come 400 years too late.
My last question before I pass the microphone is, I got you, is we've seen our local police department working in conjunction, and multiple people have witnessed that they worked in conjunction with groups like the Proud Boys. What do you have to say about that?
If there was ever any solid proof that they were working with the Proud Boys or any other organization, it would be appalling to me personally, and there would be discipline. Now, I want to be clear, that have people's constitutional rights, but I don't want police officers taking sides politically. They have to be content neutral and agnostic to what the politics of the moment are. It gets very dangerous when policing becomes politicized, and that's what Donald Trump is doing with his federal troops when he says, I'm only sending them into cities that are controlled by Democratic mayors. That is politicization of the police force, and it's not acceptable, and it is unconstitutional.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do have a question for you as well, Mr. Mayor. Before you, I had spoken to your predecessor.
Sorry, I thought this was going to be a listening session, not me doing.
No, well, we got questions, and you are the only man that has the answers, and we're hoping that your answers are what we are hoping to hear. I had spoken to your predecessor after the first time I had to hold up a sign that said, I can't breathe, in honor of another black man strangled by police. And I talked to your predecessor, who confirmed to me that when this president, who is now our current president, whether or not we agree or not, would enforce stop and frisk in this city, he guaranteed me that he would not. I think we've now gone even past stop and frisk to having federal officers unidentified on the streets pulling off civilians, which is even worse than at least having a badge and a name that I can identify to. Is there anything within our local government and state government to be able to stop having these federal officers or to protect us against them, seeing that they are now the instigators? You yourself have said this on multiple news channels, CNN, MSNBC, that you agree that this had calmed down. We were working with the city. This is now obviously brought out not just mothers, not just people of all races and colors, ages, but it's making a lot of people very angry. What can you say that you are going to do to protect us against them?
So the first thing that I am doing to protect us is I am doing everything in my power to get them to leave. And what that means specifically is I have been raising the alarm nationally. I've been on national TV shows talking to people about what is happening in this city and that they cannot be passive and sit back and watch it in Portland, because it will come to a city near them next. The next thing we're doing is using the tools of the law. Our state attorney general, our city attorneys, they're looking at every legal action available in our state attorney.
I'm gonna stop you right there even with that, because this is the same party line that you've been toting the last couple of days. But this is what you've been telling. But the issue is that those are words. What is the action? What are you going to do tonight when we have unidentified federal officers on the streets hurting your civilians, hurting your citizens, the people that elected you? What are you going to do about this? And if there isn't something that you can't do, can you say that there is nothing you can do? Because anything that goes through legislation, anything that goes through a lawsuit through our Attorney General will take months, if not years, to be held up.
I believe the fastest path is what we are pursuing, which is we're working with our United States senators and our congressmen, congressional delegation. They control the money. They control the paychecks. They control the power of the purse. That's probably the fastest tool we have, other than the legal actions that our state attorney general is taking, which I strongly support. And then, of course, just bringing global attention. bringing global attention to this issue.
So you're saying that tonight there is nothing you could do to protect these thousands of people around us immediately from the federal officers in our city? There's nothing immediately that you can do to protect us?
I think what we are doing tonight is actually the best thing we can do right now, is be here, be heard, be unified, and be clear. We didn't want them, we didn't ask for them, they are not trained for what they are being asked to do, and we want them to leave.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Hey, Mayor Wheeler. Mayor Wheeler. My name is Simab Husseini. I'm with the Council on American Islamic Relations Oregon chapter. And the question I have is that the precedent for how we've been treated as protesters night after night for the past 55 days has been already laid by Portland Police Bureau and how they've treated us. So the only thing that we're getting from the federal agents is an escalation and less expired munitions, more potent munitions coming at us. So it's already been laid down. The way we've been treated has been happening to us by PPD all the time. The whole protest and all beyond. We're here protesting for Quani's Hayes. We're here protesting for all the lives that have been lost at the hands of PPD. So the federal thing to me is just gaslighting. That's not as important as what's actually happening. The systemic violence that Black lives have been facing, and that all of us are here trying to say Black Lives Matter. It's a statistical expression. So what are you going to commit to outside of the 15 million that you guys started with, which is not enough? What are you going to commit to between now and through your campaign, and if you make it past your campaign, what are you going to commit to as far as substantial changes in law enforcement, and as well as regulating the PPA? Because Daryl Turner has clearly taken over as commissioner over your duties for the last 55 days up until Trump came.
So first of all, I cannot regulate Daryl Turner. He's a union official. There's nothing I can do to discipline a union official. Let me just answer the question. Let me answer the question. Daryl and I have had our public disagreements. And when he says something that I disagree with, I call him out. He certainly feels free to call me out, and he most certainly has. The second thing that I would tell you is with regard to munitions, I do not like the deployment of crowd-controlled munitions generally because they tend to be indiscriminate. If I am committing a criminal act and you are not, and we're standing in close proximity, the munition doesn't know the difference. And so I called for restrictions on those munitions. All of them are up for review. The special session of the legislature is looking at them, and tactics, absolutely. And I have asked the police bureau to do two things. I've asked them to de-escalate the situation, and when they make arrests, make sure they are people who are specifically engaged in illegal activity.
I have personally been shot by these munitions indiscriminately. I've been gassed indiscriminately by not being a participant.
That we've done together on sanctuary city status.
The main question I think a lot of people are asking right now, Mr. Mayor, is
Hi, my name is Philip Wolf. I'm a deaf individual and I need access. And when everyone is yelling and you are in the space, you are taking away my access. My sign language interpreters are not able to relay the messages that are being said. I have a right to also listen. This is a city for access for everybody. Please be mindful and respectful of that. Do not crowd.
And we have people, yes, he is, and he has people with special needs that would like to be able to communicate. Please, please and thank you.
This is not productive. Really not productive. All those people didn't get to hear what he's saying.
What message did he make? Let's make it that. Bring it there.
Are you here with him? He's supposed to be in.
We can move the trail.
We're trying. And others, please, can everyone move back just a couple steps?
Move back! Move back! Everybody
Please.
move back!
We have those that are trying to speak.
Everybody please move back!
Okay, will you commit to working towards abolishing the Portland Police Bureau? Yes or no?
No, I do not support that.
Hey, this is a listening session. This is a listening session.
Whatever Kate Brown want to do, right? Why are you going against what she want to do? Why are you going against Kate Brown and whatever decision she want to make? You tell us no and do what you want to do in the office. So why are you coming? Why are you out here tonight to do what? To make a stop? To prove a point? Like, I need to answer your question. What are your job right now to help all of us right now?
So I wanted to be out here tonight. It's been several weeks since I came out with the crowd to hear what people are talking about, what they're thinking. And I've met with people one-on-one or with small groups, but I wanted to be here and hear what people are thinking. And I was invited to do a listening session tonight by the Portland Tribune, OPB, and Coin News. And I'm here to hear what people have to say on this.
Okay, so I have a 9-year-old son, right? What the fuck do I need to tell my son when he get older? I have a 9-year-old son. The police is killing us. So what do I tell my son when he go to his friend's house, go to school? What do I tell him? The police is nice? The police gonna kill you?
That his father was there when we began the fundamental reform of policing that we have needed in this country for a long, long time. And you were part of the vanguard of that movement. We're making huge progress right now. We have a long way to go. I'm not going to say we don't. But we are actually making change now at the speed of light in terms of how we are allocating resources, commitments to equity in BIPOC communities, support for things like education, housing, healthcare, the basic things that actually are also related to safety for all families in our community. And a big thrust for me is around economic prosperity.
There is a question asking, though, around behind us by at least 5-10 people. Are you willing to give up your control of the Portland Police Bureau to Joanne Hardesty? As a woman of color who has lived in this city, would you be willing to give her that ability to be able to work, as also her representing the fire department and all the others?
We have a new commissioner coming on in August. I don't know who that new commissioner is going to be. And we have at least one and possibly more new commissioners coming on in a couple of months in January. All of the bureaus are up for discussion, all of them.
So currently you will not be giving it to Joanne Hardesty within any amount of time currently. You will not be giving up your role as a part of, in control of the police commission.
I do not currently have plans to do so, no, but I have been working and partnering with Commissioner Hardesty on a number of reforms that we've already passed. We have a good working relationship, not just in the police bureau, but also the work that we're doing around the Portland Street Response, our 911 call center. There's a lot of good work that Commissioner Hardesty and I are committed to doing together.
Great. So to confirm, you said no, you will not be giving up the Portland Police Bureau to Joanne Hardesty to be in control of.
I have no plans at this time to do that. That is correct.
Thank you.
I reserve the right to be able to do, as mayor, I assign bureaus, and I reserve the right to be able to do that later if I so choose.
Mr. Wheeler, so as a Latin person, and you being here willing to listen, that's your intent tonight, a lot of people don't acknowledge that Latin people and Native American people were subject to the most successful ethnic cleansing that has ever been attempted on Earth. 95% of us were wiped out. So keeping that in mind and looking at all of our black brothers and sisters and how scared we are out of our minds, Are you ready to admit that internalized racism, internally and externally in Portland culture, might have had a role to play in your lack of action in this?
Well, first of all, I don't believe I have had a lack of action. I know there are people who think I've not moved fast enough. But I will, but I will. I buried the lead. But I will agree to the statement you made about systematic racism, about my own power and privilege. And power and privilege can blind people to the reality. And when George Floyd was murdered, there is no way anyone in this country could not see the depth of the systematic injustice and racism that has plagued BIPOC communities in this country since its founding. And that goes for me too. It goes for me too, absolutely.
So I'm in a very interesting position, being a part of this movement, being somebody who is half white but is also Mexican, and that's very scary for me, especially because this movement is not about me. It's about other people, and it's very rightfully so. And I'm scared. I want to know if you're scared, and if you are, what are you scared of?
I would say the biggest thing I'm scared of is that we lose the moment. That the moment and the movement get overshadowed by something else. Nationally, we now have a reckoning. Nationally, we've awoken to the systematic racism and the injustice and the massive inequities that exist for BIPOC communities nationally. And I'm worried that the Trump administration is changing the channel. And it's becoming about crowd control tactics as opposed to systematic racism and injustice or even police reform. We're moving our attention off the ball. That's my concern. That's what keeps me up, and that's one of the reasons.
Hi, my name is Philip Wolf. First, I want to let everybody know that I am deaf and I need accessibility, so I need to be able to see the interpreter. If there's too many people crowded around, I lose my access. People, you can hear. You are able-bodied. That is a privilege. Be aware of your privilege, please, and be respectful to other people who do not have the ability to hear. Okay? I also have the right to ask a question and have a response from the mayor. So please, can everyone move back? Just a few steps. Please move back. Thank you. Thank you.
Everybody step back. Take a step back.
Okay.
Step back.
First of all, I want to understand something. From day one, the Portland police have used flash bombs, tear gas, and other tactics against protesters. People who are disabled, whatever accessibility they have is already lacking. So when there's added escalation with the police, our access is gone and we're at risk. We're in danger. I want to know and I want to understand that when you say it's the Fed's fault, they're the ones to blame for making the situation worse. They're the reason that we are being hurt. I see you blaming the feds. I don't see you taking action because the feds haven't been here since day one, but you have been. So what are you doing for us as a community? What are you doing for the disabled community? You have to stop gaslighting us. You have to be honest and direct with your answers.
Philip, it's good to see you again, and I appreciate the question again. I am not blaming the feds solely. I am absolutely calling out what the federal government is doing here in the city of Portland because I do believe fundamentally it is a threat to American democracy, but that does not give any of us the excuse or the opportunity to ignore what our own responsibilities are here. I am standing in front of you as the mayor and as the police commissioner, and I am taking full responsibility and accountability for the actions of the police bureau. And we are. We actually are. Philip, you can disagree with whether you think what we have done is enough right now. You can disagree. Honest people can disagree. Portlanders can disagree. But we have already made historic changes. We've already redirected funds, and we have a lot more work to do. And by the way, I'd love to see a lot of this energy turn into working with us to make those additional changes. It's not about me. It's about you. It's about you. It's about you. It's about all of us as a community. As a community.
But the issue is, the Portland Police Bureau have been using abusive and assaultive tactics on us from day one. And now tonight is the first night that you've actually been out to talk to us. And you also have not prioritized accessibility. I have had to bring my own interpreters tonight. I'm paying them myself because you have failed to provide accessibility for the community. Where is our access?
So, Philip, in large measure because of your advocacy at Portland City Hall, we've been working on the access issues that we did for the Office of Equity and Human Rights. You are the one who led that effort, and I have supported it, and that's what we're doing in City Hall. As for community events, you and I have had many conversations. I was invited here tonight. I agree with you, there should always be an interpreter, and at the events that I plan, there always are interpreters, and I'm sorry you had to bring your own. Aren't you an interpreter?
Ted, it's me, Kiana. How are you doing? You remember me last time when I talked to you last time? Okay, so, in the time before and all the other times, and I'm back again. And you know why I'm back again? Because you told me that you were going to put the money within the schools in North and Northeast, and I still haven't seen it. But what I'm here to talk to you about is, we're all here for what? Black Lives Matter. We're not here to talk about the police because I can give a fuck about the police. We're not here to talk about defunding the police. What we're here about is so that you can put the money where it needs to belong, which is what our black and brown kids. Let's talk about the biggest system right now that is being funded. It's not the police system. It is the school to prison pipeline. That is the biggest funded system right now. And what you need to do as in Oregon, as the mayor, is take the money out of the Justice Center and put it into the education system. For example, let's talk about numbers. Let's talk about numbers, right? So, for example, if a black or brown child gets suspended or expelled, they are 3 times more to go to the justice system within that year. And also, if we look at numbers, black and brown kids are 31% more likely to be suspended or expelled for minor, not major, but for minor defenses. So my question to you as the mayor, right? You're the mayor? Okay. So my question to you is, what are you doing? Because we defunded the police, right? Where's that money at?
I think after all the years you and I have been together, we now are aligned, and we are in agreement on something really important. First of all, you advocated for, and the city council, including me, heard you, and we got rid of the school resource officer program. It is gone, and we are reallocating those resources back into the community. They have not been allocated yet, but you are 100% right that the biggest inequity is around education. Both access to education, support for young kids in their educational endeavors, and then opportunities for job training or pathways to higher education when they complete their primary education. And I am extremely passionate about that, and I agree with you, and I'm very excited to keep working with the people that we have. I'm the chair of the Children's Levy. The Children's Levy allocates a lot of money to early childhood issues. I've been a big supporter of Kairos, PDX, and Tallylab. Those are all really important efforts, and I will continue to fight alongside you to do that.
So one more thing. We talked about the Children's Levy last time, right? And yes, you are on that committee. But my question is, where are their funds going? Because those funds are
aren't going to North Portland schools. Those funds are going to Northeast Portland schools. Those funds definitely aren't going to East County, where you guys had gentrified North and Northeast and sent all of the black and brown people to. So if you're on that committee and you're sitting here saying that you're aligned with me, that you agree with me, what are you doing?
So the children's levy, we cannot direct resources, I believe, directly to school districts. We can't just transfer the funds to other governments. But what we do is we actually allocate those towards school support, early childhood. A big thrust is early childhood support, and not just for the kids, but also for their families. Child care is critically important. A lot of our families are struggling with access to child care, and that creates problems because if you have a 2 or even a 3 job family, they can't necessarily do the things they need to do to support their kids the way they want to in the education system. And we cannot allocate the children's levy outside the city of Portland, but we do have partnerships in all of the school districts within the city of Portland. I would love to actually see the children's levy model replicated statewide because it's a very effective and accountable levy. And I didn't know about your enthusiasm for it. I'm really excited. I feel like we have found alignment on that issue, and I appreciate it. Sure.
So the money that you guys, quote unquote, defunded from the police department maybe approximately 30 days ago, when we first started coming out here, where's the money now?
So a big chunk of it has been allocated towards a program that is being started by Commissioner Hardesty that elevates black youth. It's like a black youth. It's not an advocacy program, but it's a mutual support and coaching effort that Commissioner Hardesty is leading. A lot of it has gone into the street response. Over half of it's being saved for a community-driven process in terms put aside for a community-driven allocation process. So it has not yet been allocated, but it will be through a community process. I'm not sure. I believe that's happening through the Office of Community and Civic Life, and I don't have the specific timeline with me tonight. But if you give me your information, I can get back to you on that. Good.
Do we have any press immediately that has any emergent questions? Any press has emergent questions? Any press emergent questions?
Mr. Mayor, my question is, have you explained to these folks how the city government works? The fact that you're the mayor does not make you the only one that makes a decision. Without 2 or more commissioners, you can't do anything. Have you explained that to me? I want you to go talk to everyone who's here tonight. There's like 2,000 people. You're talking to about 10 people. I want you to go over there to the steps and talk to your city. Can you do that? We can ask more questions, but I want everybody to hear all the answers. but we want everyone to hear. Everyone deserves to hear. Not just 10, 15 people, everyone, the whole city, okay? So we want you to go over there and take questions.
Do you know whose microphone this is? I think one of these might be perfect. I have a question for him. I have a question for you. Ted!
They want to speak to everybody.
I'm trying to announce it. POC to the front, but I can't find the microphone.
Back up! Give him room! Back up! Back up! Give him room! Back up!
POC should be next to him.
Go slower! There's too much! Slow down! Slow down! I don't know what this is! Slow down! I have a broken pelvis! Slow down! Slow down! Slow down! Black Lives Matter!
My man comes back. Black Lives Matter! We got the mayor. We appreciate it, Mr. Mayor. Bring Mr. Mayor, we gonna bring you the mic. Someone else get it, room.
He's up there. We're going to get him up on the steps.
You're rushing us, bro. Look, we don't even know if this can reach them. I know, but we have to.
Thank you, guys.
Mr. Mayor, the people can't hear you. Mr. Mayor, the people can't hear you. Mr. Mayor, the people can't hear you. It's not about, listen, hold up. This is about, if you guys crowd this, just let the man up. mic. Mr. Mayor, first of all, Mr. Mayor, you guys look. Listen to this. Calm down. We all have a common enemy right now. We have people over there, right? We have a common enemy. So we're going to let the man speak against those people over there. We're going to let him speak against those people over there. We invite you, Mr. Mayor, to continue to stand with us tonight. Do not just speak, sir, and leave. Please do not just speak. All these people have been taking tear gas for you too. Your constituents. So that those people don't end up marching down your street and doing anything to your family either.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you all for being here. And I want to start by answering the question. I'm going to start by answering the question. I will. The reason I'm here tonight is to stand with you no matter what. I stand with you no matter what. And if they launch the tear gas against you, they are launching the tear gas against me. We are a community. And here's what I think about the federal government being in our city. They were not asked to be here. They're not wanted here. They're not properly trained to be here. And we are asking them right this minute, we're demanding that they leave. We demand that the federal government stop occupying our city. And what they are doing here, here's the message I want you to know. If you're watching this and you're in another city and you say, oh, well, that's a Portland, Oregon thing. This is not a Portland, Oregon thing. The President of the United States has said himself on the record, he said he is sending federal officers to cities based on whether or not they are led by Democratic mayors and city councils. That is an abuse of federal law enforcement for political ends, and it will not stand, and we do not support it, and we are demanding that they leave.
That's it. We thank the mayor for saying that. Now, Mr. Mayor, we just ask that you demonstrate what you said. We ask that you demonstrate. Hey, check this out. Check this out. I get that some of you guys want to just stay fucking mad. I get that some of you guys want to just stay that way, right? And I get that, right? But check this out. There's a bigger issue than that. If the fucking goddamn... Listen, if Donald Trump, what you see right there the other night ain't shit. This tear gas ain't shit. What's about to come, if that goddamn president gets 4 more fucking years, it's gonna be way worse than that. So at that point, it doesn't matter who the fuck is the goddamn mayor. It doesn't matter. I don't care about all of that other shit. If the man says that he wants to stand with us, it's not about his speeches. He can demonstrate what he said by just standing. We gave him his opportunity. Now he stands with us. This is still about Black Lives Matter. Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter.
Whose lives matter?
Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter.
There you go. Come on, man. Everybody got an opportunity to come around. Everybody's got an opportunity to change around here. If we're going to be people that's going to be accepting and loving, then we have to demonstrate that too. And we have to give him an opportunity to do what the hell he said he was going to do. Or the next time, all this wrath might be turned on to his goddamn office. It's crowded and dangerous up here. Some of y'all need to bounce off of here, man. This is about Black Lives Matter. It ain't about your picture. Please, man, it's dangerous. Some of y'all need to bounce. please get your picture and leave. It's not about the press.
All right, what's up, guys? I'm from the Portland Protest Bureau. All right, look, we all know we feel some type of way about Feds Wheeler right here, okay? I know I got some hate towards you about the things you could be doing for us. Out here, if you want it to change and if the Feds end up going home, you should make sure that the cops aren't doing the same things the Feds are gonna do. If you want to help us and make sure that this is, because everybody is here tonight for Black Lives Matter. I mean, there's some people out here that are totally not with us, but whatever, they don't matter. The point is that if you rock with us really hard, then you should be out here every night with us. You should be making the right demands. You should be having our backs, making sure you talk to every group that's out here. There's so many of us. There's so many moms out here that are ready for us. There's Portland Protest Bureau, Black Unity. I don't know your guys' first name. All right, and then there's so many black people out here that are ready to fight for us. You should be speaking to every one of us individually. You should be out here making sure our demands are made and get met by, because I'm one black person trying to change the world. You're a white person with so much privilege, you could change the world. And I'm also going to say this now, specifically for you, I led the AZ zone at Ted Wheeler's, at your place. So, exactly. My point of why I wanted to talk to you, I don't have much to say, and I'm not the extremely brightest person in the world, but I know for someone being black, you should support us 10 times harder than I should. I've been fighting my whole life. You should fight till you die. My question is, how are you going to make sure the cops aren't hurting us like they are? Defunding them, but listen though, defunding them is not the only thing. We need to reform them. We need to change them. They need to go back to school. The whole thing needs to change.
I think you just answered the question. It's everybody from who we recruit, whether we're recruiting cops who actually look like and represent the community, the training they receive, the directives, and making sure that we have an accountability system. So my colleagues and I are about to overhaul the accountability system for the police bureau.
Hey, guys. Hey, can you guys stop, please? Hey, shut the fuck up. I don't like to cuss on television, but please shut up for a second. I want everybody to hear his answer so that we know how he feels. A lot of us don't give a fuck about how he feels, but I want to know how he answers. I can't hear him over you guys yelling. I cannot hear him, and I'm sitting next to him. Please say it one more time.
So first of all, you are right. It starts with who we recruit, how we train them, what directives they are under, and what accountability system they are held to. And the reality is the culture of policing nationally and locally is out of step with what the community demands. And we have not been policing everybody the same. You should not be policed differently based on the color of your skin or your gender or where you live. That is not policing, that is intolerance. And so I'm the police commissioner as well as the mayor. I don't make all the decisions, so I know. I don't make all the decisions alone, but I am committed to working with my colleagues and our state legislator to do it, to make the changes that are required.
Why didn't you help us before? Why are you doing it now? We've been out here for 50-something days. Why didn't you do it earlier?
So I have. And where I've been is with my colleagues. We passed some of the most historic reforms of the police bureau in the history of the police bureau. We allocated funding towards the community. We've committed to completely overhauling the oversight and accountability system. We've changed the way that the public interacts with the police bureau on directives. And obviously, we have a long way to go. I think we've had a good start. We have a long way to go. and the community's going to be there with us, guiding us every step of the way and holding us accountable. That's the way the democracy is supposed to work.
All I gotta say is you should be out here every day, and you should be talking to the black people out here, getting their demands and making sure that we are getting the justice we deserve for every person that's died. Dominic Dunn, Kendra James, there's so many, Shatamra, there are so many people out here that are suffering that you should be helping. There's so many black people out here that are homeless. You need to be doing more than you are doing. You say that you're doing stuff, but where is it? We haven't seen it.
Yeah, and by the way, this national movement is about racial equity and justice and about policing, but there's more to do around education, around access to employment, around health care, around the opportunities, around shared economic prosperity. What I hope happens is this movement around racial justice and policing. Hold us accountable for that. Let's get that work done together, but then let's also look at all of the systematic racism and the injustice that exists throughout the other parts of our community as well. In Portland, we're largely a white city. We're largely a progressive city, but we do not have good results, not only in policing or law enforcement or criminal justice, but also around educational outcomes, healthcare outcomes, access to housing, and access to jobs. Everyone here has a job to do, all of us.
What are you doing?
Did y'all hear him? Did y'all hear him? You couldn't hear him? Did you want to hear him? Did you want to hear him? Are you fed up? Is it enough? Can I get a enough is enough? Enough is enough. 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 Check this out, y'all. Check this out, y'all. This is a Black Lives Matter movement. When we got somebody up here speaking, you guys must respect the speaker. I know you don't want to, but on the note of the movement, anybody speaking from this mic deserves 100% respect. Or they would not touch this mic. If I hand the mic to Ted Wheeler, you guys must listen to him. Give the man some respect, man. Give him his respect. This is a Black Lives Matter. He took it upon himself to risk his life to come up here. Yeah, we fed up. We are fed up. But on the note that we welcomed him here, respect the movement. Respect the movement, man. We got moms out here. We got kids out here. We invited Ted Wheeler to this shit. And he took it upon himself and he put his life on the line to come and say Black Lives Matter. Now respect the man. I'm going to give the mic back to him and I'm going to let him speak. Please let him speak, man. Boo my ass. Boo my ass. Mr. Mayor, we have a question. Will you commit to authorizing, instead of police responding all the time to 911 calls, can you commit to sort of campaigning for a community-led group of people that can respond to some incidents rather than, from the community, so that people know it has to be people from their community? Will you commit tonight to do that?
The answer is not only yes. The answer is I'm already working with Commissioner Hardesty and my colleagues on a model to do just that. The fact of the matter is, look, we're standing here. We are standing here as a community. We call 911 way too often for a police response when oftentimes what's needed is an EMT, a mental health professional, somebody who's trained specifically in de-escalation tactics. We don't always need to send an armed, trained police officer to every 911 call in this city. So when you call 911, if somebody is in crisis, somebody is acting out, but you don't think they necessarily need a police response, tell the dispatcher that when you call. And we're also going to put the Portland Street response into effect. We took funds out of the police bureau and we put it into expanding the Portland police response. And that's a great example of, rather than dispatching police officers, we will be dispatching EMTs in partnership with mental health professionals. And that's what we need on our streets right now, particularly for our homeless population. They don't need more policing, they need help. They need access to services to help them get off and stay off the streets.
Fine. We have just made history yet again. Can I get some noise? We did not go to Ted Wheeler. Ted Wheeler came to us. Donald Trump will come to us. Can I get some? Are you frustrated? I'm frustrated. Are you frustrated? Are you frustrated? What do we do when we're frustrated? What do we do when we're frustrated? What do we do when we're frustrated? Can I get a enough is enough? 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 Enough is enough. Enough is enough. Ah! 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 Ted Wheeler came to us. Ted Wheeler came to us. Moms, can I get some noise? What do you want? We got a question. We got a question. What's the question? What's the question? What's the question? Yo, y'all, check this out. So, we obviously, this is a part of the hard work. What's going on right now up here, all this confusion, all this chaos is part of the hard work. If you're not willing to stand through all this chaos right now, if you're not willing to stand through all this confusion, all these differences of opinion, then you're not ready to stay in the struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because this shit, everybody feels like their idea is important. Everybody feels like, you know what I'm saying, that they have a voice. Well, it's not. What we're talking about here is about Black Lives Matter. And as long as Ted Wheeler is talking about issues that are going to advance the issues of black lives, then I'm going to listen. I'm going to at least listen. That's all I'm going to do. I'm not going to believe in it. I'm not going to trust in it. I'm not going to hope on it. I'm going to hear what the man says, because the man told me that he was in charge of the police department. The man told me that he was in charge of the chief. The man told me that he had all the power. So I am going to do what I need to do as a citizen and listen to the man. So therefore, all that arguing and all that yelling, that shit ain't gonna get nothing solved. We can argue with each other all we want to, but it's not gonna help black people. Us arguing amongst each other is still not gonna stop one black child from being shot around here by the police. That's what they want us to do. Don't you know? They can't wait until we start fighting amongst ourselves. Don't you know that they can't wait until one of us starts to do that so they can say, see, look at him. Look at him. That's why we need to control them. That's why we need to take control. What we're going to let them know is that we are about peaceful. Even if we disagree, we can disagree peacefully amongst ourselves. Amongst ourselves. We are all, at least I think, most of everybody out here is here because we believe in the same thing, which is justice and equality for all. Wait a minute, somebody said down here that he don't give a fuck about justice and equality. Is that what you just said? No, what did you just say? Well, we're talking about Black Lives. We ain't talking about Carroll, Oregon right now. The brother wanted to talk about Black Lives. So check this out. We got other black voices up here, man. They want us to fight. They want us to argue. They want us to argue. I have, but we want to make sure, brother, that when we come correct. Can I say something?
All I was asking was, and I was ignored, is who are you? He wants to know who I am, and I don't really care, because I'm not up here talking for hours. I'm asking, who are you to tell us what we want in this city and how we should listen to Ted Wheeler?
I never said, I said this. I said this. We need to go through this. His voice matters. But this is what I said. I said, at least I am going to listen to him. If you are standing here, you choose to listen or not. All right, we done for tonight. Thank you, Portland. We love you.
The only way to respond to that sort of thing. And this for that day. I didn't see any of these folks get out tear gas for us. A lot of us have been out here.
Come here and tell us what we want. They won't give me the mic, so I'm going to talk. You all know me. I'm here every night. You all know me. I don't cause no problems. You all know me. I take care of business. I'm not gonna lie to you guys tonight. What I wanted to do with this event was get on fucking stage. If you know me, my name is Max, and I'll be out here every night, making sure people are safe and making sure our message is heard. There are people here who are working with the mayor to tell you what you want to hear. If I am wrong, and I have been wrong before, someone tell me who these dudes are. Because I don't know. We are here to defund the police. We are here because Black Lives Matter. We are here because they continue to shoot us in the streets. And now we're here because the feds are here to distract us. It is so important that as we all together, this whole city wants these feds to leave. Do you want these feds to leave?
Excuse me, sorry.
It's water in a bag here.
Thanks.
Who do you want oversight in November?
Apologies.
Make way, let him through.
Sorry, apologies. Oops, sorry.
You see all these people in yellow, these is moms. You know what? These is moms. But I want you to hear these moms. I want you to listen.
You're on a curb. Step up. Go ahead. There you go. Stop beating their kids.
We want to put the black moms in here.
Are you one of the moms here?
Are they here? Yes. Get the black moms come through. Black moms come through. If you are a black mom, come talk to Ted. If you are a black mom, come talk to Ted. Let's go.
I don't need no megaphone.
You don't.
If you are a black mama, come talk. Look. Come on. Where's she at?
Where you at?
There you are,
Where
baby.
you at?
Talk.
Hi, Ted Wheeler, look. My brother was just killed right there on 4th and Oak. Prime, he was killed right there by the police. 12 shots in his back, was turned running, and he already threw the gun. How you feel about that? I just want to know. How you feel? I want to know, how is this going to stop? How are we going to all work as a community together? Because we can't see nobody no more once they go.
I believe this is the first part of it. I think
This is the first part. You going to be out here with us like a community?
We're not talking about being dance. We're talking about her brother.
But if you out here, look, just film me on this one. If you out here with us, Ted, if you out here with us for us, when you go in that building, I need you to say that. I need you to tell them that you was out here for us. You need to take your team and turn them around. You got to help us help your team. We can't do it by ourselves, or it's going to turn into a war. We don't want a war in our city. We don't want a war.
Nor do I. Absolutely.
So you got to tell your team, because that's your team. This is our team. This is our family, right? This is our team, right? You got to tell your team that we need y'all to stick together to help us, not to go against us. Because then when we go against y'all, then we the wrong. So we need you to help us. That's all I'm asking. If you really care and you out here tonight, we really need you to show it. I mean, go on the news, let them know you was out here. You was out here and you feel it. Let them know you was out here and you feel it. Let them know you was out here all night and you feel it and you understand. I want to know you understand. Every night. Period. Every night I need you out here. Where's your sign? I need to see a sign. Something. I need to show that you care, Ted. I know you've been to the Apple down here. I know you've been down here. I know. I gotta see that you care. We didn't believe you care because you're standing right here. Where's your team at? I need you to get your whole team and stand here and do this with us. And do this with us. And do this with us. And walk all the way down and do this with us. Stand on that Apple block and do this with us. All the way around. until we all work as a community again.
Right.
Again, we need a community. This is not a community. We're gonna go into a war real fast.
No,
Real fast. And we don't want that. Y'all throwing bombs, smokes, boom, boom, boom. What is that supposed to do for us? Bombs, smokes, and stuff? All that type of stuff, y'all. The whole Justice Center is built in.
Right.
They can't even breathe in there. They suffocate.
Right.
How y'all feel? We gotta get the city right. You gotta spread a message, Ted. You gotta spread a message. Whatever you need from us, I need you to stop banging on our windows so we can get it all together. Let us know that. We need a message that you want to help so we can help. We need to do it together. We can't be alone. You hear us? It's Black Lives Matter, don't it? All lives matter though, right? Right, it's Black Lives, but all lives matter together. All lives matter together. Right now it's Black lives that's targeted, but all lives matter together. You can't be a community if you can't say, oh, everybody lives matter. Everybody got a cousin in a different color.
Right.
We all skin color. Y'all cannot let that get to y'all. It's skin color. That's a skin color.
But until Black Lives Matter,
period.
all lives can matter.
Period.
Because Black lives don't matter right now.
Period.
So
but we all gotta stick as a community. We can't hate our whites and we can't hate our blacks, or we not gonna get nowhere.
Right.
When you can't just hate everybody you see because of their skin color. I know something did wrong, but like I said, Ted, I need you to spread that message with your team. If you really care and you really been down here trying to be here for us, I really need to see you on that news. Like, stuff gotta change. This corona is the corona. Fuck that.
It ain't going nowhere.
It ain't going nowhere. It's like the flu.
It's here.
We need help in this city, and we need you to be responsible for that. Everybody yells your name, Ted. Your name.
I hear it.
So it's all in you. All hands is in you. And I'm really glad I got the chance to talk to you, because my mom's gonna be real happy. Real happy. She been trying to get to you, Ted. I can't believe you down here right now. I really can't. Because she's asleep, but she been trying to get to you, Ted. I really need you to spread that message, though.
Question is,
I really do want to see you on the news, Ted. I really do. And I really want to see this. I really want to see this.
Hold on. How can her mom get to you? Because her mom, her brother, which was her mom's child, her son, got killed, right? So how can the mama get to you?
Here's what you should do. Call the mayor's office and say that you spoke to me specifically,
Period.
and I will tell the front office staff to expect that call.
Period. Okay. Period. And I'm gonna leave your word to that. So what? But what building is you in though? You in any of?
That one over the city hall building.
You in the city hall building?
Because it's closed. I got it. I wish I had a card. I was stupid and didn't bring any. Of course, there's 3,000 people and I didn't bring any cards. But I look forward to talking to you. And you don't have anything to write down with, do you?
Put in your phone.
Let me see.
Can I give you my email address?
Yeah, you can.
Can I type it in?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, come on in here. Come on in here.
There he is. So that was Ted over there.
Ted, can you go to the police union? There's a problem, Ted.
I cannot believe he is down here right now. I want to cry so bad. I cannot believe my mom is trying to get to him. Period. Most definitely.
So that is my email address.
Okay.
And take a screenshot of it in case you accidentally erase it or something.
Okay.
And if you send that to me, I will get that to Reddit.
So my name is Ty.
Yeah, and have
so
your
remember
mom,
my mom's
you
name
can
is
give-
Letha.
Yeah, good. And I'd be happy to talk to her.
Letha's my mom.
I look forward to that. If you both want to
Yep. I know. I'm really glad, sir. Let me shake your hand.
Thank you.
I'm very glad. I'm very glad that I was able to speak to you tonight. I want you to understand that I'm very, very glad I was able to talk to you one-on-one to speak with you.
I hear your passion.
I really am. Everybody been trying to get to you, Ted. I really want you to hear everybody out, including this man right here. You go ahead and let him know your message. Y'all do that. It's Black lives and it's all lives around here. Come on.
Ted, I don't know if you remember me. I came to your office a few years ago. You remember me? Okay. My name is Mac. Good to see you as well, honestly. I want you to know I give you a hard time all the time because that's your job. And that's my job as a citizen. I know. I don't think you're a bad person. But I think that politicians in general, I don't think that you're immune to that, are missing the point.
And I think that I think that there's a big focus right now on how to talk and how to be ethical and how to discuss things. And I think the politicians have learned how to use those words and how to say those things and respond with those feelings with what it is. But then you're still not making the changes despite that. So to me, being able to recite something is not knowledge, right? It's just practice, repetition. Someone says enough times you have to speak about, Black trans lives matter, that's enough, but where are the Black trans lives that you're taking care of? Where are they mattering to us? And I think that what it really comes down to is we don't want the police. And the nation as a whole, as you see, is shifting away from police. I am for abolishing the police. You don't have to be for that. But the people are leaning towards abolishing the police. Look at this shit. The people are saying, we need to change something. I'm not saying you have to get rid of the cops tomorrow, but what I'm saying is you have to make a real commitment to cut this shit down. When I came and saw you 4 years ago in your office after you got elected, we talked about this and we talked about how crime was plummeting and you wanted to hire more cops. But you hired more cops and crime went back up. Is that correct?
That's
okay.
correct.
So that being said, when we talked about how come we can't get rid of the police and defund them more, your answer was there's a union contract. And it comes out every 4 years and it's signed before the election. So the outgoing mayor is always stuck with signing it, right? So you said you were hands tied. You couldn't do anything, but that you wanted to reform the police. But you were hands tied. Your hands are untied now because you guys just signed the contract for just 1 year, right? So now it's open to the next year. You've got Sarah running and she's saying she's gonna work on these police. You're saying that you're gonna work on the police. You said that last time and you didn't. And you didn't fight to change the union contract. We fought to change the union contract. And that's an issue.
Well, this is the first union contract that I've negotiated as mayor or police.
The point is you did it in private. You did it. You didn't invite us out there.
No, in fact, I fought hard to make sure that the public gets engaged in this contract.
I don't think you fought hard for that, Ted.
Yeah, I did, and that's why we've delayed it.
The reason I say this is that I don't believe that
we've
because
delayed
there
it
are
so we could have the actual public engagement.
I didn't hear. Did anyone here get invited to work on the union contract?
No.
We had actually had.
Did anyone know it was even being done?
Before there were forums. Then we canceled them when COVID came, and because we had to cancel the forums due to COVID. That is why we extended the contract.
But then why didn't we put the people's input there?
We did. It's
the
public.
People have been
It's
in the
available.
streets since before the contract was signed, saying defund the police. PAL got 60,000 signatures, right? Saying we need to defund the police. Why wasn't our voice heard in that? Why did we not take money from the cops? Why did we just cancel their raise and take like a couple dollars away? Why are we not doing the real thing? And I think that the longer politicians wait. 4 years ago I was telling you this, and before you I was telling Charlie Hales the same shit, right? So here we all are now in these streets, 5,000 deep in front of the Justice Center, where we're all gonna get gassed as soon as you leave. As soon as you leave.
I'm not gonna leave. If you get gassed, I'm getting gassed.
I'll take your word for that,
Good.
and I respect that shit. But if they don't gas us tonight, that tells us it tells us a lot.
It tells me I should show up more often.
And it tells us, and then when the feds leave, are your cops going to gas us?
No.
But they have been.
Yes, they have.
What's going to be different?
Well, I hope the first thing I did was I tightened those restrictions. The state legislature's looking at banning it. There were active discussions as recently as last week evaluating that at the legislative level.
But wasn't it banned before the feds got here? Because
yes,
I was gassed the day before the feds got here.
But I cannot do anything with regard to
why?
Because I don't
not with the feds. The cops gassed us the day before the feds got here. The cops gassed us before not the feds. Your employees, and they're still out here beating us up in the middle of the night with the feds. So why are you saying that the feds are the problem? It's not. It's your police.
I am not saying it is just the feds.
They were gassing us.
I'm saying right
what
now.
You have to. Hold on. Before we overtalk you and jump on you, understand that no one here is going to buy that shit. You cannot tell us that the feds escalated the shit. They are escalating it on a national level and making it bigger in the press, but the experience on the ground is exactly the same. Nothing has changed between last week and this week for us. We have been getting beat. I spent all day trying to find a fucking helmet today. I can't even buy a helmet. Helmets are sold out in the city. Ted, in your city, helmets. I can't even buy a bike helmet that fits my head right now. I can't buy a gas mask at Andy and Bax. Ted, we have a problem. I mean, a few months ago, I couldn't get hand sanitizer and toilet paper. Now I can't get fucking, I didn't find gloves just to come out and not get my hands destroyed when I get knocked on the ground for standing there. Ted, we're fighting out here, and you're not. And we need you to fight with us or get out of the way. Because we don't hate you. It's like we don't hate police officers. We hate policing and we hate politicians that don't do shit for us. We need you to help us or get out of the way. I don't think Joanne's gonna fix it either, but I need you to help us or get out of the way and put someone that really understands this shit. Because if not, this city's gonna get ugly. And I'm not making threats because I'm a peaceful person. I haven't done anything to hurt anyone. No feds are targeting me. I've been arrested for doing absolutely nothing already. I'm not worried about shit. I haven't even called a lawyer because I haven't done anything. What I'm concerned about is this city exploding.
I am too.
Exploding. And Trump is acting like it's going to explode in ways that it's not going to explode. But this city will explode if we don't take care of our people. White people have woken up. They don't want to see this shit anymore. We've been training people for years. They finally get it. Y'all finally understand that Black Lives Matter, right? Black Lives Matter, right? So that being said, we have to really understand that if Black Lives Matter, then we have to take care of black people. Police have been here historically, you know this shit, to keep oppressed people in place. That is what this is about. The police keep poor people poor. They protect the gap between the middle class and the rich, right? They make sure that even if you do well, some of these brothers up here that we're talking who I don't know who the hell they are they your friends?
The culture has preserved power and privilege.
So those people are telling it.
Which people?
The guys who were up here who I just kicked off the stage up here.
He kicked you off the stage?
No, I kicked them off the stage. Oh. They were telling us that we should talk to you because we need to work on economic development for black people. We don't want to be the new white people. Black people don't want to oppress white people. That's never been our goal. Our goal is to be on even footing. Giving us more money is not going to put us on even footing. Just like when you give us a stimulus check, when Trump gives us a stimulus check, we give it right back to the rich people, right? We just change their money. All we do is the rich people, is your family rich too, right? The rich people just use us to exchange their money and launder that shit so it comes back to them. We need that to stop. We need the police to stop guarding this shit so we can actually have stuff. We need to take that same money. We spend $1 billion every 4 years on the cops, right? $1 billion plus, right? Every 4 years here in Portland,
right.
Just in Portland. Right. Yes. So what if we use that $1 billion to build out schools, to make the Boys and Girls Club free, to make sure that people have situations where they can be good, to make sure that kids that are hungry get fed, to make sure that families that are broken up get put back together and given something so they can be taken care of. Even if they don't contribute to society, take care of them, right? Because we have this idea that if someone doesn't contribute, that they're not worth shit. And that's not true. We have to take care of everyone and we have enough, but maybe these billionaires have to stop hiding so much. And all you can do at this point, because you can't change the world today, right? But you can change the world here. And that can grow from here, Ted. And everyone here knows that. Everyone here sees that. You have a huge chance here, but you gotta stop being scared of the cops. We're not scared of the cops, and you're a Portlander just like us. So if we're not scared of the cops, and they've been beating us for 50 days, you can stand up and say that's enough, and you're done. You're the mayor, Ted. You're the mayor. I've been a manager of my job, and I can do shit. You're the mayor, Ted. You can fire whoever the fuck you want. It's the same shit here. The mayor commissioners get the same shit. You're the boss. You have to be the fucking boss. And if you're, because what it's starting to look like is that you are the boss and that you're playing this weak position to enable the system to continue. That's why people don't like you, because they feel like you don't have anything. When I got arrested, the cops were making fun of you the entire time. I was arrested by Officer Wheeler, and when I got arrested, they said, who arrested him? Wheeler. They were like, not the mayor, he's a bitch. That's what they told me. Swear to God. These are your employees, Ted, and they're telling who's been arrested? Did the cops talk shit about Ted? You see what I'm saying, Ted? This shit is real, and you can take it.
I got shot 5 times.
Say what?
I got shot 5 times.
He got
5 times.
Okay.
So this is what I'm saying, Ted. So what we have to do is we're telling you what's going on. Them cops are telling you about the budget. They're telling you about what they're going to do if you don't do shit. They're going to talk bad about you. The union's going to be horrible. All this shit. Look at this guy, man. Look at this guy, man. Ted, make a change. I'm not going to yell at you all day. I need you to make a change. Because we're only going to talk for so long, Ted. We're out here, honestly, not being violent. Yes, there's been some little fires. I seen a little tree got set on fire in a little garbage bag a couple days ago. They acted like it was some big shit. Someone kicked it over and it went out. You know what I mean? It's not a big deal. The fire at the police union office, that was I don't burn shit down, but it was a fucking magazine rack. Let's not act like they set the building on fire, right? We have to be real about shit. The cops are really escalating. They're shooting shit right now. You know what I mean? So here we are right now. Nothing violent's going on, but they're over here shooting shit off. and letting shit go. They're not waiting for you. They're not respecting you. Your cops aren't respecting you. You're supposed to be in charge. Be in charge, Ted. That's all I need. You said you wanted to fix the cops. You have a chance to do something before you either leave or continue. Because I don't know what's going to happen, right? It's close, 50-50, right? 49-51, right? So you have to take control right now and get this shit right. Because if you don't, you're going to have 4 more years of hell, Ted. 4 more years of hell, and it will not, it's going to be like this every day. We're not going back. We're not going back. Say it with me. We're not going back. That's all I got to say, Ted.
Because you know what I've been talking to you about?
Thank you. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for listening.
Ted, me and you've been talking about the education system, right? And so here is a black boy who is in the education system who has been suspended. I don't know what he was suspended for. Probably something stupid. What was you suspended for? Say it again.
Fighting.
He was suspended for fighting. So because a kid fight, that means they can't get their education? Stupid, right? So because he got suspended, he's 3 times more to be in the justice system because he got kicked out of school to get his education. So I want you to stand here and tell him how you are, as the mayor, going to help him get his education and not be in the justice system.
Which school? Can you tell me which school you're at? Do you
POIC.
POIC?
Rosemary Anderson.
Okay, I know the folks
But,
there.
but wait. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you. POIC is an alternative school. So
Yeah,
that
I know
means
it.
he was in a regular school, something happened, and he got kicked out.
Oh, so
he's
not,
already...
not at PO. You weren't kicked out of POIC.
No.
Oh, okay.
So that means...
I was kicked out of Centennial.
Centennial.
So he was kicked
Okay.
out of Centennial High School,
District.
which means that he's in an alternative school, which means he's already 1 step closer to the justice system.
Where do you want to be? Where do you want to be?
What school?
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Cleveland?
So how can Ted Wheeler help him get to Cleveland?
I know people. I know the
If
superintendent.
he don't know people,
You want to meet him? You want to make your case? Do you have a cell phone on you?
Not on me. I don't bring it down here when I come.
Unfortunately, I didn't either.
okay. So this what I'm gonna do.
You know how to reach
I'm gonna get your information,
Good.
and I'm gonna make sure that you and Ted talk because Ted sat here in front of all these cameras and said that he gonna help you get back into the actual school system
We're
and
gonna
not
get
the
you a
alternative
meeting with the
system.
superintendent, and I want you to make the best case you can. I want you to think long and hard about it. Make the best case you can. Can you do that?
Yeah.
You're a good man.
Thank you.
Make sure you ain't gonna regret it. You ain't gonna regret it.
So will you make sure?
I got you, Ted. I got you.
Do you have my contact?
I don't have your
You're not
personal one. I
gonna
have your
regret it.
assistant's number.
I want to make sure you get.
I'll get your personal. Yep.
Because
No, this is what I
too
do.
important.
I already know. This is what I do. These kids is the future, and I
I'm
refuse.
obviously not going to give you my cell number.
No, I got you. No. Before you leave, I got you.
Okay, good. I'll look for
But
it.
I just wanted him to have a conversation with you because
wanted
he's
to have
already
it.
1 step closer to the justice system.
I
He's
don't
already kicked
disagree.
out of his education, and he's getting an alternative education.
This is his phone number.
No, no.
We'll get it. We'll
We
get
got
it. So
I got this.
I don't
I
know
got this.
if his parents
Ted,
are
it
cool
just
with me
can't
having
be
it.
because the white moms are here that you're here, right?
No, although I like all the moms, the wall of moms is very impressive, and I'm really appreciative of it.
It's just that the black moms were here for so long and nobody came and nobody paid attention. And now we're here and you're showing up.
And thank you to them and to you. Appreciate it. You've brought national attention to this.
Mayor?
Colbert was funny the other night. I don't know if you heard him. The moms aren't angry, but they are disappointed.
Yeah, that's
Hey,
true.
Ted.
Mayor, Acting Secretary Wolf has said conversations with you and Governor Brown have not been productive. And I know that what you have said about him as well. Are you guys still in communication? And if not, why? Should you be?
No. So far, he has said nothing that leads me to believe that he's hearing anything that we are saying. When the governor of a state, when the senators and congressional delegation of a state, when the mayor of the largest city in a state are all saying exactly the same thing, which is you're not invited, you're not wanted, you're not helping, we want you to leave, and they get defensive and lock down and say, well, the only reason we're here is because you're not doing your job. That's not a response. That's not a genuine opportunity to sit down and listen and hear what we are saying and why we are saying what we are saying. And I got to tell you, this strategy that they're rolling out nationally of putting armed officers in cities that are controlled by Democratic mayors that are all unified saying we do not want them, that is a recipe for disaster. It's going to escalate an already tense situation in the United States. The President Trump, needs to focus on coronavirus and get his troops out of the cities. This is a waste of time, waste of resource, and my biggest fear, honestly, is that somebody's going to die.
Is there any room for negotiation, do you believe, with the federal side?
This is not negotiable. I want them to leave. That train left the station a long time ago.
As far as demonstrations go in downtown, what power do you have, if any, to see them stop? Because I know that people have called for them to end.
The most important power we have right now is the powers of numbers, the powers of unity, to have 2 United States senators, our congressional delegation, our governor, our mayors, our community, the moms, all speaking with a unified voice. This isn't just a regional story. This isn't just a national story. This is an international story now. And people are saying, look, what the hell is going on in Portland? What the hell is going on in Washington, D.C.? And what happened to the United States Constitution? And what happened to democracy? And what does this mean when you have the federal government occupying cities, attacking nonviolent demonstrators, pulling people off the streets and into unmarked cars, denying that you're not even having probable cause? These are unconstitutional tactics. They are illegal tactics, and they're flat out un-American. American democracy is at risk, and we're just on the front line here. But if you're watching this in another city and you're thinking this is a Portland problem, you're wrong. This is going to come to a city near you if we don't stop it here.
And how did you feel about coming down here tonight? You've been heckled. There have been a lot of people screaming at you. How did you feel?
I understand the anger. I understand the frustration. People are madder than hell. Some of the people here are people of color, the BIPOC community, the black community in particular. They've been waiting their whole lives for racial justice and equity. And it's great that the majority of Americans have woken up in the last 7 months, but there are people here who've lived with this every single day since they were children. And I understand the anger and the frustration. I'm not only the mayor, I'm not only the police commissioner at a time when there's a national reckoning around police, but I'm a white, privileged male. And this is also about privilege, it's about power, and it's about resource. And the question that I ask of everybody, including myself, is what power, what privilege, and what resource are you willing to give up in order to further the interests of our BIPOC community? That's what this is really all about.
How late will you be out here tonight?
As late as I need to be.
Mayor Wheeler, I'm sure you're aware that Seattle Council is pushing to defund their police by majority.
They're defunding what?
The Seattle Police Department by using Seattle City Council power. And as you are aware, Mayor Durkin is kind of pushing against that and trying to push back that narrative. If there is a way to defund police in Portland, will you take the same posture as Mayor Durkin and prevent that as well?
No, we will look at the situation here in Portland. We don't follow Seattle. We don't take our lead from Seattle. They're fine people. But we have our own issues here, our own problems, and we're accountable for the problems on our
Have you decided on defunding the police or not yet?
We made a first cut at it during the budget process. We've removed $24 million from the police. We're allocating $15 million back into the community. But we're not done with that discussion. It's not over.
So you're going to continue discussion?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Excuse me, Mr. Wheeler. Micah, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you again. How are you doing? It's good to see you.
Doing all right.
How are you doing?
I'm doing okay.
Good.
I wanted to ask you something. The FBI Crime Statistics Analysis website gives off as a national average a case clearance rate amongst all of the different offices around the country. Murder, I believe, is 60.3. Assault is 30.8. Theft is 16.2, I want to say. It's either theft or larceny that's it. Either way, all of these numbers would be, in most public school scenarios, basically an F, essentially. Now, it's not necessarily to say that there won't be a vacuum that, of course, needs to be filled. But is it truly impossible for us to come up with a new solution to
No.
fulfilling the role?
No, it is not. I don't think it is. I think it's not impossible. I think there's this is the opportunity. It's probably a once in a lifetime opportunity to reimagine the entire system. And you're right, those statistics are awful. They're terrible. They're unacceptable.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. That's all I wanted to hear. Thank
Mike,
you,
it's
sir.
good to see you again.
It's good to
Are
see
you
you,
doing
sir.
well?
I'm all right, sir. I'm
You
alive.
look good.
Thank you, sir.
I'm glad you're alive. I think about you a lot.
Thank you, sir. It's good to see you
All
tonight.
right, reach out to me if I can ever help you. All right, we're back.
I will tell you something. I got set here 5 times, more than 5 times here because I come every day with a protest. And I am 19 years old. I am 19 years old and I got set from the police officer more than 5 times. First time when I got shot, I go to the hospital. All my clothes, the police take all my clothes. And I call this the number of the police because I ask him about my clothes because I want to go outside the hospital. And they say nothing for me. My phone, everything with
They took it all?
Yeah, they
And they
take
didn't
him
give it
all.
back?
They never take him back. And
They can't keep that stuff.
I don't
Unless
know.
It's evidence, but it doesn't sound like evidence
I
to
don't
anything.
know. I need
Those are your
you
personal
tell me.
belongings.
I need you tell me why they do some.
I don't know. That's not right. It's not
Oh.
right.
Do something about it.
I don't know.
I just heard about it. This is the first time I've heard of it.
Yeah, because I got set 5
Is there a
times.
way?
I
Is there a
got,
way?
and
You showed me. Is there a way I could get your information or some way that I could communicate
I
with
have
you?
all information about
Okay.
the hospital. I went to the hospital.
But the
OSHU.
stuff they took.
Yeah.
Give me the information.
I will give
and I will
you.
do my
I
level
will
best.
give you
I
the-
promise. I'll give you my word.
Okay.
But you got to give me the information.
I have all paper in my house. All paper in my house. All information in my house. But I will come to you. I will give you all information because I am surprised. They surprised me. I want to go outside the
So they
hospital.
kept your
I
cell
can't.
phone, and what else did they keep?
Everything, all my clothes.
What?
Everything, all my clothes, my shoes, my T-shirt, my phone.
Yeah, but they're not supposed to keep
everything.
Well, they
And
do, and that's
when I call
No,
the
it's
number,
not right. It's
when
not right.
when I call the number, when I call the number, they say nothing for me. I say, why?
Dude, I just heard about it, and I just committed to
It's
this
your job
gentleman.
to know about
yeah.
these things.
Yeah.
And it's been happening all the time.
That argument again.
argue.
Yeah. Okay.
Can you know how to, can you
Is there,
contact them?
how can I get in touch with you? Do you have a?
Yeah, I have
like,
phone
card
number.
or- Okay. You have my phone number? No. Okay, let me write mine down for you. Can I ask you a favor not to share that broadly? I'll have to change it because when it gets up, then I have to change it.
I got a question. So, essentially,
You can text me on that.
Okay.
essentially the marijuana tax was going towards the schools. And once the marijuana bill passed,
And the lottery tax.
and the lottery tax,
Talk about all the
it
taxes.
changed, it started going towards the police, other things.
Yeah.
Is it a way that we can bring that back towards the black community and the schools and these black-owned businesses around here?
Yes, and in fact, the city council has already directed that they haven't said specifically how it's going to be allocated, but the marijuana dollars are coming out of the police bureau.
So
They've gone into the fund that's going to go towards the community, but we have not
But
yet
can they go
allocated
towards the
it.
education system and not necessarily the community?
It can go, I don't know, that's a good question. I don't know if it can go directly to schools or if it could go to support for education. I actually don't know the answer to that question.
Can we try to make sure that they go back towards these schools, though? Because that's what
I
they need to
support
fund it.
every dollar that goes to schools is the best investment. The city of Portland doesn't actually invest in schools, but I will say right here, the number one investment is education.
How can we
It's the
make sure
best
that
way to
doesn't
return
get changed again, like before the vote? How can we make sure that doesn't get changed again once they do it?
You've talked to me, talked to at least 2 more of my colleagues, but I'm sure they're already there. Commissioner Daly, Commissioner Hardesty, I'm sure they would agree with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's all
But
I
you
need
should
to
call
know.
them. Feel free to pick up to
All
call.
right. Thank you. Thank
Good.
you. Anybody else?
I will text you. My name Matthew. I will
Matthew?
text
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Thanks,
Ted,
man.
turn around and put your number in my phone so don't nobody see it. I don't want nobody
Put your camera down. Put your camera up. Point. There we go.
We already know my name. Outside.
Keep it
going.
Yeah,
Keep it
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
So we can help that boy out. Okay.
So I'm going to sort of wander
But I want to
over
help that boy
there.
out.
Good. And I definitely want to.
Yeah. So we'll talk. We'll connect. Thank you.
Whenever you
No, you're fine. Nobody cares.
Come on. She's been protesting every week for a couple years.
Yes.
I think she's been trying to get a meeting with you. What could she do? Is there a black leader here who could help? Patrick Kimmon's mom has been trying to meet with
whose
him.
mom?
Patrick Kimmons, who was murdered.
No, so Patrick Kimmon's sister was just talking to him.
She's in bed. She's not here tonight.
Yeah, mom's not here, but that was
Yeah,
that was
no, we're
Patrick-
gonna get that all.
Patrick's sister.
We're gonna get that all set
Yeah.
up. I'm sorry, I didn't understand. As long as I need to be. I didn't really have a curfew tonight. So as long as I need to be. I'm feeling good right now.
Grab my arm so I'm with you. While I text. Yeah.
Stay for the gas! I heard you love this shit!
Who would have thought Ted Wheeler needs security? Yeah. Yeah, come on, Ted. Where are you going?
Dad, have you known about Homeland Security embedded in the Portland Police Bureau?
Thank you. Exactly.
Dad, are you working with the feds? There's a pole right here. Don't fucking fall over. I'm blocking it. You're running your side of me.
Thanks, man.
Stay for the tear gas, baby.
I'll swap spaces with you.
Tear gas, Ted. Tear gas, Ted. Tear gas, Ted. Tear gas, Ted.
Tear gas, Ted! War crimes Wheeler!
Tear gas, Teddy. War crimes Wheeler. 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 Tear gas,
Yes, I got you. Do you have me? I don't... What am I tossing to, though? Okay, that's fine.
Like I said, they will gas group lobbies out there.
Yes, I can hear you, Steve. Well, Steve, it really has just been a lot of Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler kind of walking around with the crowd, answering questions, talking to individual people. You heard part of my interview with him. I was able to get a few minutes with him, and he's really been doing that with a lot of the people down here. Certainly there are folks down here who are heckling him, who are screaming things at him, cursing, but there are a lot of people who want to have also active, productive conversations with him. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing him talk to some members of the media, but also members of the general public. And this is all happening in the middle of thousands of people. Deb, I think you asked how long he plans to stay out here tonight. I did ask him that, and he said a couple things. He said, one, as long as it takes, but he also said all night long as well. So he should be down here for quite a bit of time.
Look at that, you ain't even fucking denying it. I'm not a cop. Yeah, why didn't you say that? I'm not a cop. My job to touch people without their consent. Sounds like a fucking cop.
Hey, Brianna, can you hear me? Tell Megan that we're going to go towards this fire and break away from Ted, and ask her if that's okay. Does she want us to stay with Ted or go to this fire? Okay, copy. They want us to stay with Ted for right now. Just kind of keep following it. Are you staying up to the end of the show? Maybe. I'm going to circle around this way.
suggest we move if we get gas.
Police officers that have murdered people here in our city, Portland Police Bureau officers, are still on the force. We know that those literal Nazis that we've been telling Ted Wheeler and his council about for years, like Mark Kruger, who are still employed by the police department. We know that people like Kwame Tate and all of these other black and brown people, Patrick Timmons, George Washington, all these people that have been murdered by the police.
I think you should come up to the front with us and stay there.
Don't have
If you're gonna be here, you should be up in the front. Because I'm out here every night at the front getting shot at.
Right by those fences. For his police to stand the fuck down. Instead, he just wants us to be a little bit more polite in the way that we ask him for freedom, in the way that we ask him for liberty. He wants Ted Wheeler wants all of us to be begging for spare crumbs while he sits in his timber air fucking mansion. Oh wait, he's not in there anymore because his wife divorced him. Look. So Ted Wheeler is both our police commissioner and he's also the mayor. That means that unlike in other cities where we have a state department that is set up to actually have different Ted Wheeler is both the police commissioner and the mayor. Despite the fact that he is the police commissioner, he still has refused to specific directives saying not to use tear gas. It's the basic steps that he can prove to show that anything that he has to say is bullshit. But instead, a month and a half ago, we saw in front of us and told us we want to go on an investigation to understand what tear gas does, despite the fact that local OSSU, a fucking monster in the first place, actually told us information about exactly how bad it is to use tear gas in your residence all across the city, in their homes, up and down in North Portland, in our communities are still being harassed by the mayor and city council just decided that they would resume keeping homeless people on the streets despite the fact that we still have international global health pandemic, despite the fact that our economy is still failing in Portland, the most fucking healthcare crisis, yet you can wear a mask by so many places. We have so many people rather than coughing and dying. You can have I only went to the first I think how black capitalism is what we know is the abolition of safe black and brown life in our country. Look at the how people are surrounded by people that they expect to speak to him. You can
It's a priority after Black Lives Matter. He's at a Black Lives Matter movement, not a pandemic movement. That's right.
Keep on moving. If you're worried about the pandemic, get the fuck out of here. If you're worried about the pandemic, get the fuck out of here.
Take several seats, bro. Can you just come to the front line? Can we just come to the front line?
The second you leave, they're gonna tear gas us.
Hey, just ignore it. This is a Black Lives Matter movement. Ignore it.
Yes, I'm here. Well, it looks like it's to the. It looks like it's by the federal courthouse. I think it's to the north of it. I'm in front of the Justice Center, and I can see the glow. We can move over there. Do you want us to move closer? Okay, that's fine. Well, yeah, he's still out here. He's still talking to people. What is burning? What are you guys seeing? Okay. Does it look like it's on the street in front of the Justice Center or to the side? Oh, it looks like they're taking the mayor out. It looks like they're taking the mayor out. Don't come to me. Don't come to me yet. We're following the mayor. We're following the mayor. Yeah. Well, I saw a group of people with him. I guess I could only describe them as bodyguards. I'm not positive. It looks like they were leading him away, but they've taken him to the fence in front of the federal courthouse right now. So I'm going to go up and see what exactly they're doing. It looks like maybe they're just looking at the fence. They wanted to show the mayor exactly what was going on. So that's what we're doing here right now. I don't exactly know why they rushed over here, but they rushed over really quickly. And now he's here right in front of the fence, in front of the federal courthouse, just basically observing. That fire you keep talking about, I see the glow from it. Looks like it's on the north side of the federal courthouse. I don't know exactly what street it's burning on or in the intersection, but it doesn't seem like a lot of people in the crowd that I'm in are paying much attention to it. Guys, back to you.
They're gonna gas.
How do you know?
I can hear the voice.
No, I'm sorry, Steve. I was talking with photographer Brian Smith down here.
Hey, Wheeler, the door is open over here, and they're gonna shoot us. You should go stand where the door is open.
All right, we're getting out of here. We're going. What was that? Were those bangs from the officers or fireworks?
I have no idea. They were in the crowd. They were going off the crowd.
Do you want to come back to me, Brianna? Come back to me. Come back to me. Yes, so we heard several large bangs. We moved down to the intersection, basically a little 1 block closer towards the Willamette River. Obviously, a lot of the people in the crowd, they're moving this way as well. I haven't noticed any tear gas. I'm not saying they haven't fired that, and we may have gotten out of there before they did. I don't know if those large bangs were fireworks from the crowd, because we've been seeing a lot of those, or if they were some sort of munition devices from some federal or local officers. But there, you just heard another one right there. Again, we've moved away now. We're a little 1 block closer towards the river, getting away from whatever is happening over there. Say that again, Deb. He was right up against the fence, so I don't know where he is right now. Excuse me. Coughing, not because of tear gas. No, coughing not because of tear gas, but because of smoke from, smells like fireworks of some kind. But yeah, he was right up against the fence. I don't know where he is right now. Let's go. What is that?
It's tear gas. Tear gas. Try soon. CS gas.
I don't remember it like that. Because it's worse. Yeah, exactly.
That's very potent. There's CS and there's CN. Cry. We called it cry soon and cry now.
Got it.
And I've had both.
When I experienced it first, like a year or two ago, it affected my eyes. This is affecting more of my
Lungs.
Yeah.
It's lungs and eyes.
My eyes are fine right now.
Oh, my eyes were starting to burn. Yeah, it affects both. Kind of the same thing as OC spray.
Well, the mayor probably got gassed.
Yeah, I can guarantee the mayor got gassed. And actually, the guys that were standing behind me got hit with it. I saw them run out, and they stayed there with the mayor.
Let's go this way. I've been going continuously since 9 o'clock.
Well,
Just got to check something in my shoe.
Am I okay to turn stuff off now?
I know they want us to. They're coming back to us. Okay, let's stay right here.
Give me a heads up, would you?
What? Brianna, give me a heads up when you're coming back. Not for at least 3 minutes. Okay, I hear you, Brianna. Yeah. I don't know for sure, but it would be hard to believe that he did not get gassed. Okay, 1 minute, Brian. I know. Shit, I think it's getting worse this way. Looks okay. Yeah, let's come this way. He is? Can you do a shot, Brian? I might not be able to see it, but come over here. Ten seconds. You be able to do it, Brian? And Steve, you can certainly feel the effects of that tear gas right now. We have moved down several blocks. We're at Jefferson and 3rd. The federal courthouse and the Justice Center are down 3rd that way. We were standing right next to the mayor when those initial gas canisters exploded. I immediately took my attention and started to get myself and our security and photographer, Brian Smith, out of there. So I can't say for sure that the mayor experienced this, but it would be almost impossible to say that he did not experience the tear gas tonight. I mistook it for fireworks at first, and I asked our security guard here, what is that? And he said, that is the gas. And I said, I don't remember it like that because I've experienced that before. And he said, that's because it's worse. And we have heard that anecdotally from some people that the federal officers use perhaps a different kind. So that's what we're experiencing right now. We believe we left the mayor. He was still at the fence at the federal courthouse. Not exactly sure where he is right now. We can't go back into that cloud. We're right here right now, and that's the latest of what's happening. Back to you guys. I'm not hearing exactly what was burning or anything like that. I know I could see the glow. You guys probably have a better view of that fire from Chopper 2. It was on the north side of the federal courthouse. I don't know exactly what was burning, but it looks like it was in the street. I'm just not sure which street. Sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, no, I'm standing right next to him. He got pepper sprayed and everything.
He did?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, all of us did.
Could I chat? Could I talk to you?
Of course, yeah.
Is that okay?
I don't mind at all.
Do you know where he went?
So at that point, everyone just started to move through the park as quickly as possible. At that point, I think we were all blind.
Got it. Okay.
I mean, I had an N95 on, and that couldn't do nothing to help it at all. Yeah, it was bad out there.
You're good? Yeah. Do you mind sharing your name?
Yeah. Akos Sarfokantanka, A-K-O-S. Last name Sarfokantanka.
Lovely name.
Thank you.
Okay, so you saying you were standing next to the mayor right at the bench?
Absolutely, yes. I've actually been next to the mayor since he came down tonight and have been through all of his first little press conference over in the corner on more of the west side, or I guess southern side of the Justice Center. Moved with him through the crowd as well as when he spoke to the mothers. And then because of the chanting and people asking him to stay down here with us is why he ended up moving towards the front of the Justice Center with all of the protesters.
Towards the federal courthouse?
Federal courthouse, correction, yes.
He did say earlier, we heard him, look, if you get gassed, I get gassed.
Yep, absolutely.
He got gassed tonight.
Oh, he for sure got gassed. I was standing within 3 feet of him. He for sure was gassed tonight.
Look, there are a lot of people out here experiencing this every night. Yep. I don't want to say that the mayor experiencing it is more important or different than everybody, but it is something new that we haven't seen in these 50 days of protest. Would you agree?
Absolutely. Oh, completely new. And I think it's giving him a little sampling of those of us that have been out here for, I mean, I started here in 2016 after the first protest starting with "I Can't Breathe." And so this is the first time I've ever seen a mayor or any public official be in the depths of what was going on with them. I don't know if it was just because of peer pressure or if it was truly something he wanted to do. I know before that we were talking about his reelection. I think he's definitely trying to show the people that he would like to represent us and to be down here with us and show us that he can be our mayor for another couple years.
You said you were with him throughout all of this tonight. Was this organized? Like, how did that become, how were you part of that contingency, I guess?
Oh, absolutely. So no, for me, when the first meeting area started for when he was going to need to come and do a press conference, I could tell by the people around him that there was going to be trouble. And so as a woman of color from the Portland area, I felt like it was my duty to be able to stand in front of him to make sure that there wasn't any issues with him coming down to speak to us, because you can't be mad at somebody if we don't hear their voice and if we don't give him at least an option to tell us what he believes about this, to let us know, not just from CNN or MSNBC when he's speaking to national news, but directly to us. Give him that chance to express his vote and express his voice. The main thing is that I don't think a lot of his answers were what we wanted, but we appreciate him being out here and at least trying to communicate and have that dialogue continuous.
What's your opinion of the mayor right now?
I can say I did not vote for him in the primaries. I don't know who I'll be voting for again at this point with it being summed down to our last two contendants for mayor. All I can say is dialogue matters. And so as long as he's continuing to work and talk to us, that's something that we're willing to, be open to. And decisions can change, minds can change. We don't know where we'll be in 3 months because we didn't know we were going to be here 3 months ago.
Do you feel like you heard anything significant from him tonight?
Something was definitely, I wanted to hear from him, was more so giving Joanne Hardesty a voice, giving her more control, especially as a woman of color in this city. I think she is a strong representation of our minority community that hasn't been heard. And so being able to maybe, pass off the police department to her as she asked would be something I would love to hear. I did hear directly from him asking him that question, that he has no plans to and will not be doing so until the new commissioners are reelected.
How, maybe you didn't notice because everybody focuses on themselves when they experience CS gas. How did he handle it? What was his reaction?
I can say from the amount of time I was able to keep my eyes open over there, he actually acted pretty stoic within that. I know it got to the point where the whole entire mass moved back, and at that point it was kind of all men for themselves. But I could say he was willing to put up the fight, like all of us that are willing to put up the fight against this tyrannical regime that our president has now sent to police the people of Portland, who have been mostly peaceful, and especially after we had worked with defunding our police somewhat, things like that they had reignited this flame of anger and then brought us back out here again.
Two main things I heard being listening to the mayor tonight. Obviously the federal response, he seems to be focused on that a lot. But then of course there's the reason people have been down here for 50 days prior.
Absolutely.
Is there one that's more important or more urgent or should be focused on before the other, or can you not separate them?
I think that is also a part of our president's plan, is to distract us from the original motive, which is to remind ourselves that Black Lives Matter, to remind ourselves that we need justice for Breonna Taylor, that we need justice for George Floyd. By him bringing these federal officers in, I almost think it's a distraction, but it's to the point of almost secret police, like the Gestapo in Germany, to the point where we can't even think about the bigger picture, because right now we're worried about just our citizens being able to walk down the street freely. Just walking to my car before I talked to you, I was on the phone with my mother to make sure that somebody would know if somebody pulled me into a vehicle that I was off the street, and that somebody was able to know that I am not free anymore.
Are you part of any different organizations? Obviously I see Black Lives Matter, but are you part of any groups or organized groups?
Definitely have always protested with Don't Shoot PDX and our Black Lives Matter movement. I know the Wall of Moms has been something that was really, really important to me and my mother. She's not able to be out here tonight because she is a nurse working up at OHSU Dornbecker and needs to be able to be safe to protect our children and those now with COVID-19. So I came down here and almost like as a surrogate for her, because I know this is something, having a Black daughter and as a white woman, she wants to have her voice heard.
Is there anything else you want to say that I haven't asked you about?
Oh no, I think that's great.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. Absolutely.
Would I be able to get your phone number if we wanted to call you?
No problem.